Welcome to another Qualifier tutorial for Gran Turismo Sport Closed Beta. Today we have some Group 3 cars around Northern Isle Speedway. And this is probably going to be the quickest video of all of them because, well, this is the quickest laps of all of them. I've been able to do for my best lap of 14.001. Yeah, I'm 2 milliseconds off of a 13, but, well, this is only Monday, so hopefully by the time this goes completely off the leaderboards, I can get to a 13, but nonetheless, the last time I checked, which was probably 15 minutes ago or so, I was still in the top 10 in the leaderboard, so I'll go ahead and show y'all how I was able to do my lap, and maybe y'all can get to the top 10 of the leaderboards, too. But sadly, the only way you're going to be able to have any chance of getting to the top 10 of the leaderboards is if you have the Mercedes AMG Group 3 car, the new one, not the SLS, the 2016 AMG. Unless you have that, you're not going to have a chance of getting high on the leaderboards. But if you do have that, you do have a pretty good chance as long as you follow the line that I have here. So I'll go ahead and start with the run-up to my best lap here for that line. The most important part of this track is you want to stay on the outside for the whole time, pretty much. Actually, it's coming up here is the lowest you ever want to go, because on your run-up to the final lap, it's okay to go a little bit low, because if you go a little bit low, you can carry more momentum in. As such, you can slow down here to slower than you're actually going to run on your best lap, because you do want to carry more momentum to try to get the best lap possible. And the lowest you ever want to go on this track is to run up to what you think will be your best lap. Go about to the middle or thereabouts of this line, and once you're to about the middle or thereabouts of that, you can go for a throttle, and your car should naturally carry you to the outside line as long as you are turning fully left. And then to the line here, you should have a good run going if you're going about 156, 157 at the line. And then once you're there, angle your car to where it's at the top line to the wall there, which is this one. And then go about 153 or so once you're on there, or actually at the apex, sort of 153. Slow yourself down to where you're at 153 by the time you're about at this point. And then once you're there, you should pretty much stay on that line, or if you go up the track a little bit, just make sure it's only a little bit, because you don't have much room. I know it kind of looks deceiving here, but your car will roll up naturally there, so even though you do have that much room at that little point before where I paused, you ain't going to keep it because your car naturally rolls up the track some, so be leery of that. Even though it looks like you might have room, your car's going to go up the track a bit if you're going 153 or thereabouts, so remember to leave room there so you don't hit the wall. And for this short shoot, just full throttle, easy on the outside there. This ain't too hard part. The hard part is the turn itself. And you should have a good run going if you're going 164 by the time you start slowing down. And I start slowing down a little bit before where it said GT there. And slow down to the point of where you're about 146, 147. And then angle your car to where it starts going towards the bottom at about this point. And really you can go, for the most part, full throttle. Here, you can dab off the throttle a little bit depending on where your car ends up. And make sure you just go close to the previous line that I told you, the second to the inside, but don't go quite as low this time because you want to carry more speed through the middle there so you can have a better time in total. And then there, full throttle. Again, make sure you don't hit this outside wall, and then you're to the line. It's kind of one of those things, it's easy or hard depending on how well you are at this. It's sort of easy to run a lap that's within a tenth of your best lap, but it's kind of hard to actually run a better lap, if that makes any sense. You can be more consistent at this track, but you can't necessarily have a better chance of being faster at this track. But if you're not in a Mercedes, it doesn't matter if you're consistent or fast. You kind of have to have the Mercedes. But if you do have the Mercedes and do follow the line that I took, and especially if you have a wheel and manual transmission, you're probably going to do that much better. You should have a pretty good chance of getting in the top 10 like I did there. So I hope y'all learned something from this, and maybe y'all can get to the top 10 of the leaderboards too. Or maybe even better. Honestly, if you have a wheel, there's probably a good chance of getting better. Yeehaw!